Utopia 9 A Volatile Vacation is a 3D isometric shooter with roguelike elements. It takes place in the future with a retro sci-fi feel. You play as a quirky little character who's the most recent arrival to Utopia 9, which is a holiday resort. Things aren't what you expected as you come face to face with hordes of space aliens. The game also introduces some interesting gameplay mechanics and unique features. The nemesis system adds unique elements and allows the player to take revenge on the alien beings. This idea was used in the well-received Shadow of Mordor game from Warner Brothers and works well within this type of game. When you crash down onto the planet, it instantly becomes clear that things have gone pear-shaped. Your character must make his way through a series of areas filled with mutants armed with guns, bombs, and even briefcases. What makes the game truly challenging is the fact that when you die, you have to start all over again from the beginning, much like a classic roguelike game. The levels are procedurally generated, which is great as it adds to replayability and it keeps you on your toes. Utopia 9 is a full game experience that is always being improved upon. There will be no DLC packs, season passes, or microtransactions. When you purchase the game, you will get everything the game has to offer without any hidden costs. It's certainly refreshing to see a game that gives players everything from the start. You have the ability to hold two weapons at the same time and another set for backup, which can be switched at any time. There is also a lot of loot collecting, especially items that are dropped when you kill enemies. The resources you collect throughout the game allow you to purchase mutation upgrades that give your character new abilities and interesting gameplay features. The controls are simple, but effective. With movement using the WASD keys, the left mouse button is your primary weapon and right click is your secondary weapon. You can also switch weapons and loadouts using the Q and E keys. Spacebar is used to jump, but you will find that you rarely need to use this during the game, apart from jumping up the occasional ledge. It would have been nice to have seen a bit more verticality and platforming throughout the levels. The game is pretty challenging, and I found that I died fairly frequently. It's pretty much based on roguelike games, and when you die, you lose everything, including your weapons and mutations. You respawn back at the start where you crashed your ship. One unique idea about the game, though, is the fact that when you die, one of the aliens that killed you will loot your corpse, which will gain them experience, and they will equip the items that you drop. If you decide to follow the same path as you did previously, you can attempt to take out the upgraded enemy and relinquish your previous experience and equipment. This reminded me of how Dark Souls and Bloodborne works, although being very different types of experience. Utopia 9 doesn't really have much of a story, but that's okay, as it's more about the arcade-like gameplay and simply having fun. The game is in early access, and what I have played has certainly laid a strong foundation for a solid game. The game plays from an isometric view that controls well, and the shooting feels satisfying. I found it vital to constantly move about, avoiding incoming fire and dodging attacks. There's an element of timing and staying in cover to make sure you survive the waves of enemies. I would also say to keep your eyes out for explosive red barrels that can help to wipe out groups of aliens. You will find that you run out of ammo pretty quickly and need to be resourceful when making your way through each area. If you do run out of ammo though, you do have melee weapons, such as wrenches and even briefcases. These can come in handy, but they don't deal as much damage as some of the guns. I really enjoyed the variety of guns, especially the shotgun style ones. These are particularly helpful as they fire a wide spread range, meaning you can hit more than one enemy at once. As I started to die a few times, I was worried that the mutant aliens would start to become far more powerful than me because they were collecting my loot. This is true, but can also work in your favor, as you can quickly upgrade your character and loadout by taking out just a couple of bad guys. When starting out, I thought that the game looked like it was going to be a walk in the park, maybe due to the colorful and playful presentation. That certainly wasn't the case though, as the game is actually one of the more challenging shooters I've played recently. You will find you will die a lot and this become a little frustrating. Fortunately, if you die it feels fair and was almost always my carelessness that caused my demise. I found that a run would normally only last around 15 minutes, which might be more or less for other players depending on skill level. The game is great in the sense that you can jump in and play for a short 20-minute burst or play for much longer periods of time. Each time I restarted the game I lasted a little bit longer, which felt satisfying. The key is to scope out the area in front of you, use your equipment efficiently, and make sure to constantly strafe. The game ran well for me, with the odd silly glitch like enemies getting stuck on walls. The game feels a little bit empty, but I'm sure that more can be added within the story. As I say, the game is in early access and can only be improved upon and polished. The development team has stated that as they continue to improve the game, they are working on expanding the narrative to give more depth to the world and characters. They are adding new environments and new playable characters that will have a unique set of abilities and starting items. this would be a great help to give the game more replayability. They have also been working on improving the enemy AI and have been implementing lots of new weapons and items to mess around with. The game currently has around 40 different items, and they want to continue to add plenty more. It seems like they are certainly listening to player feedback and trying to improve the game as much as they can. They have now added the ability to create custom key bindings, controller support, and leaderboards. These things all help to add variety and more reasons to jump back into the game. The presentation of Utopia 9 is great, with tons of characters, vibrant and colorful environments, and quirky character design. The game has a cartoonish look similar to Plants vs. Zombies, but from a top-down isometric viewpoint. The HUD and interfaces are well designed and easy to use, and upgrading is simple and easy to jump into. The sound design is also really well suited to the overall look of the game. The arcade-style music, electronic sound effects, and guns sound great and help create a more immersive experience. Overall, I enjoyed my time with Utopia 9. I wish the game had more depth and a better fleshed-out story, but it has laid out a solid foundation for a strong game. The shooting feels great. It looks fantastic and offers a real challenge. You might find it frustrating at first, but if you stick with it, you will get a grip on the mechanics and slowly start to progress further. I would have liked to have seen a bit more gameplay and enemy variation, and possibly some character customization, but these are things that could possibly be added to the game. What's most important is that the game feels fun, looks great, and offers a challenge. I'm excited to see how the game progresses and what improvements are being made. This is a solid shooter that's worth checking out.